welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Focus TV. This is season 5, episode 14. The highlights you saw to start the show were from a matchup between Archbishop Spalding and John Carroll. Cardell's going to have a little bit more on that later in tonight's show, but we're going to start with Octavia sharing her thoughts on, if you haven't heard, Super Bowls this week. So Octavia, without further ado, who you got? Well,
I mean, first of all, it's sad that the football season is coming to an end for me. I love football season. Even when my team sucks and I say I hate football season, I really do like it. But we have finally reached the end. Super Bowl Sunday is this Sunday, February 13th at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, there's a lot of good storylines in this game that you wouldn't have thought, just because, like, who would have thought that the Bengals would be here? We thought that the Rams could get here, but to see them actually here, so it gives you a lot of good storylines. One thing that I'm looking forward to seeing is how Sean McVay basically kind of bounces back from the last Super Bowl he was in, being an offensive guru that he is supposed to be, the Wonder Kid or whatever they call him nowadays. Totally put up 3 points in a Super Bowl game was not his best work. So I'm interested to see how his play calling changes. He kind of gets a little excited. You can see how he is on the sideline. He gets excited like a kid. And it's crazy because, I mean, in football years, they would say he's a kid as far as a coach. But he's my age, so it's still kind of weird. So, sometimes he gets a little overzealous. He tries to do too much. So it's going to be interesting to see how he works. It's going to be interesting to see, how Zach Taylor is on the other side as well. Going from, I think they won 4 games last year into now being all the way at the Super Bowl with a team that they know, well, probably didn't think was all the way ready, which I'm pretty sure most of us thought that as well, outside of a couple of key pieces, obviously. Biggest rivalry or battle I'm looking forward to see is the Rams defensive line against the Bengals offensive line. So we know how bad their offensive line is, and we know how good the Rams defensive line is. I expect Aaron Donald to eat. I expect Von Miller to eat. And I'm interested to see if the Bengals are going to be able to do anything, like, even though I don't think they can, but I'll be interested to see if they magically scheme up something to stop Aaron Donald. I hope they remember that at least 2 of them need to be over there. At least 2, not just 1. At least 2 of them need to be over there. Even that might not even do anything. Let's keep it 100. So I'm just interested to see how that works out. I want to see if, how we've seen Joe Burrow this in the pro season kind of escape most of it outside of the Tennessee game when he got sacked 9 times. But in the game against the Chiefs, he looked like he was down for the count in a couple of those, but he was able to scramble out and make big plays for them. So I'm interested to see that. And then I really want to see how the weapons for both teams stack up. We know who the Rams weapons are on the offensive side. Cooper Kupp, who had, a trail franchise season. And Odell Beckham finally being able to get to a Super Bowl out of all the talent that he has, and, the bad years that he spent in New York and the obviously bad years he spent in Cleveland, to see how that works out. And even the others, Van Jefferson, I like him. His dad is a wide receiver coach for the Cardinals. So, he has good technique and good pedigree, and he has stepped up a lot in the postseason as well for them. But then on the other side, like the youngins with, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and, Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd, and then if they get Uzma back, who has, I believe, an MCL sprain from the Kansas City game. And it's to me, everything says that the Rams should win. They should. But I think the Bengals are going to win it. I don't know why. I don't have any rhyme or reason. It's just really a gut feeling that they did all of this and they're not ready to do all of this for nothing. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they don't care what anybody else says. They have that, if you want to say, underdog mentality, even though they consider themselves underdogs. They don't believe anybody can beat them. Like, there was a quote Joe Burrow said, like, we lost to the second best team in our division. Like, when he was talking about the Chiefs at one point, like, called the Chiefs the second best team in their division. Like saying, like, we're the best in this division. Everybody else is beneath us. So, I just think they have that real strong mentality. And like we talked about earlier, in the season or early in the postseason, they're young enough to not care. Like they don't have anything to lose. They're playing with house money. They got to go out there at SoFi. And I just think it's just going to, I won't be surprised either way, honestly, but I'm going to pull for the Bengals. I think they'll get it done, but it's going to be, I hope it's going to be a good game. As good as their games have been recently, it's definitely looking like it should be. And then, of course, I want to see if Matthew Stafford doesn't throw an interception because, he likes to do that. So that's all I got for it. It's just I'm just ready to see a good game and end the season off.
Yeah, and if you guys want a little bit more on to get some other takes on what we think might happen in this week's Super Bowl, get over to Roku channel now. NFL wrap-up show, the Super Bowl edition, is up. Octavia, she had a spotlight all to herself this week to talk about it. The rest of us, we talked about it on Sunday night. That said, gonna move on to Cardell. High school segment. We started the show off with some highlights. Great game you attended. So, what was yours?
Yeah, it was a great Baltimore Catholic League, conference game. John Carroll went on the road to play Archbishop Spalding. Archbishop Spalding right now is second in the conference behind St. Francis. John Carroll was actually picked to win the conference during the preseason, but injuries, obviously COVID situations and whatnot. The key players, they got off to a slow start, but they starting to ramp it up just in time before the conference tournament starts. But John Carroll led by guards Tyson Commander, Jano Basima. They led the Patriots to an 80-70 overtime win over Archbishop Spalding. Who were without senior forward Villanova commit and McDonald's All-American Cam Whitmore. Commander led all scorers with 26 points, and Basima was right behind him with 23 points. CJ Scott led Spalding with 18, while point guard Ty Peterson added 14 points. Spalding came out strong. They used pressure defense and traps, to kind of suffocate, John Carroll's guards and make them make quick decisions to see if they can force turnovers, and they did. They forced a few turnovers, got out of the rain, got some easy baskets, and they took a 19-9 lead at the end of the first quarter. John Carroll settled down, and they got it going offensively. And, the second quarter behind, point guard Terry Long Jr., who scored 7 of the Patriots' 19 points in the quarter to tie the game at 28 at the half. John Carroll held Spalding to 9 points in the second quarter. In the second half, it was a back-and-forth affair. With neither team able to seize momentum. Spalding had chances to close the game late in the fourth, but they couldn't make free throws. They shot 9-17 from the line in the fourth overall in the fourth quarter just by alone. Had they made their free throws, they would have won the game. Just as simple as that. John Carroll shot 3 or 4 late to stay close, and Basima's lay-in with 10 seconds left tied the game at 62 and forced overtime. Overtime, it was all John Carroll. They outscored Spalding 18-8 to pull out a tough road win. John Carroll improved to 15-8, 6-4 in the Baltimore Catholic League Conference, obviously, and Spalding fell to 20-5 overall and 7-3 in the BCL. John Carroll faces McDonough Wednesday at 6 p.m., while Spalding hosts Glenelg Country Wednesday at 7 p.m.
All right, we're going to take our first break. When we get back, Raymond's going to let y'all know what's going on with the Washington Wizards. And, it's if you've been busy today, been away from social media, there's been quite a bit of news outside of what they've normally been up to as of late. So we're going to take our first break when we get back. Ray's going to let y'all know what's going on with the Wizards. If you're a Wizards fan at this moment watching, I'm not going to get mad at you if you take a step away. I get it. It's been a long month, maybe possibly a long season for you. That's it. Take our first break when we get back. Ray got you guys covered with the latest on the Wizards. You're watching the Focus TV. Welcome back to the Focus TV. As promised, Raymond's going to let y'all know what's going on with your Washington Wizards. The floor is yours, Ray.
The tailspin continues, man. They suffered an embarrassing loss to Miami Heat last night, 121-100. You can check out Wizards Outlook for our thoughts on that game. But overall, man, they're just in utter chaos at the moment. It's no cohesiveness, it's no trust, and it shows on the court on both ends. They're just not a team at this point. It's really just a collection of bodies. And you can tell by some of the players' comments and post game that is very much a every man for himself mentality right now. With the trade deadline looming, and it's just a bit of uncertainty in the air for the team, and it's affecting their play. And even once the dust settles from whatever may happen on the trade front, unless a certain move is made, there's still going to be some uncertainty, regarding that player's commitment. And said player is Bradley Beal, which he's the topic of discussion right now because he'll be undergoing season-ending surgery on his left wrist. So yeah, it is unlikely that he's going to be moved at this point. But yeah, it's not a good situation right now for the Wizards. They gave us some hope at the beginning of the season, but that died out quickly, man. It started, with the slide in December, and they just never been able to regain their footing since then. There have been flashes here and there. Not too long ago they had a tough win against Philly, but outside a couple moments, it's been dismal, for the last couple months. So yeah, man, they're in a tough spot. And it doesn't look like it's going to be ending anytime soon. But hopefully those guys can get it together. Who knows what's going on in that locker room, but it's going to be a long rest of the season. I'm pretty sure they're looking forward to this upcoming All-Star break. On the more semi-pleasant news, the Go-Go, they recently split a 2-game homestand against the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. They won last Wednesday, then fell to them last Friday. It's been pretty much the same story for them every game. They're going to have balanced scoring. They're going to dominate in the paint, and unfortunately, they're going to turn the ball over. They had 21 turnovers in both games. Luckily in last Wednesday's game, they were able to shoot a little bit better, which led them to the win. But yeah, they got to get those turnovers under control. It hinders them in a lot of ways. Luckily, they're able to offset that, because like I talked about last week, they control the boards and they're efficient and they score a lot inside the paint, which when they're not shooting a lot of threes, it doesn't give the other team opportunity to get out and run, but they're turning the ball over. So that just gives the other team more opportunities. If they can cut down those turnovers with the way they're able to control the game in other areas, they'd be in a much better space. But they're continuously progressing, man. Isaiah Todd had his second double-double of the season. Jaime Ekanike continues to play well. Cassius Winston starting to come around. He's had a tough go at it this season. But in these 2 games against Fort Wayne, man, they just didn't have an answer for Justin Anderson. He had 31 points in both games. Pretty much doing it in a myriad of ways. So yeah, he just had his way with them. He might be one of those players that gets happy when he sees the Go-Go on the schedule. But overall, not a bad showing in either game. Like I said, really the only bad spot is the turnovers. They shoot the ball pretty well. They rebound, they defend. They just got to stop giving other teams more opportunities to score on them. Because eventually, no matter how good defense you're playing, if you're continuously giving the team the ball, it's going to wear down at some point. It'll catch up to you, and that's what happened to them in the second game. But they'll be back in action tomorrow night. This game will also be at home. So yeah, man. Hopefully they'll rebound and get back on the winning track.
All right, then transition over to the college side of the game. Cardell, what's happening with GW?
Yeah, it was actually a great game on Saturday. It was a classic A10 conference battle, but it was a tale of 2 halves for 2 players, and GW's James Bishop and Davidson's Luka Brockovic. GW was locked in, for their first place matchup with Davidson. There's no other way to put it. They came out in the first half, led by junior guard James Bishop. I mean, when I say on fire, I mean ridiculously on fire. GW shot 14 of 28 in the opening 20 minutes. That includes 7 of 14 from 3 and 7 of 7 from the line. James Bishop scored 19 points in the first 11 minutes of the game and went into the locker room with 21 points at halftime after knocking down 5 of 7 threes, with GW up 42-34 with Davidson at the half. In the beginning of the second half, Davidson showed why they are in first place in the conference. They erased the 8-point halftime deficit with the 15-5 run to begin the second half in the first to play to take a 49-47 lead. Behind the inside play to 6'10", like I said, forward Luka Brockovic. David extended his run over GW to 24-10 in the second half, holding a 58-52 lead with 11:29 left to play. From there, it was a battle of wills. They just went back and forth. Bishop and, high flying guard Joe Bamasil, they carried the scoring load for GW, and Brockovic carried the offensive load for Davidson. Bamasil tied the game at 73 with 2:04 remaining. However, Brockovic was too much in the second half, and in the final minute, finishing the Colonials with the 3-point play, to help the Wildcats escape with a 78-73 win. James Bishop finished with 26 points for the Colonials, while Joe Bamasil added 19 points. Brockovic had a career-high 30 points to pace Davidson, while Foster Lawyer posted 16 points, and Sam Minigan added 11 points. My fault. GW fell to 8-13 overall, 4-5 and 8-10 play, while Davidson improved to 19-3 overall, 9-1 and 8-10 play. GW will face UMass Wednesday at 7 p.m. And as for GW women's, they're 7-14. They will hit the road to battle 9-13 Duquesne Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Jeez, that's a big first half for Mr. Bishop.
Yeah, with that Brockovic.
Sound like he had a big second half. Jeez.
Nah, he the truth, man. I don't mind. Yeah, he gonna get a lot of looks.
Man,
for people that don't know, yeah, that's Steph Curry's alma mater and his coach, so he knows what he's doing. So
Davidson sending another one to the league. So
he got a shot because he hit threes. He's strong on the block.
He said he's 6'10".
6'10", but he can move. He can shoot threes, post up, mid range, can pass. He got to be able to defend at 16. He got to be able to defend the Giannis's and the 80s. I mean, no one can stop him, but he got to at least be in front, be there, though.
like bump him or something.
Can't be just watching him dunk all day, and that's what you got to prove. So we gonna see, but he definitely gonna get some looks for sure, without a doubt.
Shout out to the A10 once again, continuing to pump talent into the NBA. How about that? All right, for Maryland, it was a busy week for the Terps. They took on Michigan State last Thursday on the road. They were able to hold Sparty off 67-62. They lost the services of point guard Ashley Owusu in the second quarter of that game to an ankle injury. Big night from Angel Reese. She had 25 points and 9 rebounds. Diamond Miller added 14 and 9 boards. While Cheyenne Sellers did a little bit of everything with her increased time on the court due to Owusu not finishing the contest. Maryland had to withstand a second half barrage from DMV native Nia Clouden to leave with the W. Clouden finished with 22 points. It felt like 15 of them came in one stretch in the second half where she just got dumb hot from 3. Maryland was trying to pull away, and she was just like, nah, I'm not going. I'm not going. She closed the third quarter. Diamond Miller's long is all outside, right? She's leaning to the left, falling out of bounds, goes glass to cut the lead, like to bring her team within 6 at the end of the third quarter, just to top off a very hot third quarter that she had. But what's important is Maryland got the win. Sunday, the Terps had senior day. They honored their seniors by playing their best defensive half of the season. They held Nebraska to 29% shooting from the floor in the first quarter. All right, it's a pretty good number, right? I'm going to raise that number just a little bit. They held them to 13% shooting from the floor in the second quarter. Yeah, 13. That allowed Maryland to jump out to a 20-point lead at the half. While the Cornhuskers got their offense flowing a bit in the second half, we all know we get to see this up close a lot from the men's team that we watch. You go down a certain amount, you can't climb back out of a hole when you don't get stops. And Nebraska spent the second half, just exchanging buckets with Maryland. You down 20 already. Chasing baskets is not going to help without getting stops. The Terps had a balanced effort offensively, led by Chloe Bibby's 21 points. Reese had 15 points and 16 rebounds. Ty Kozlova had a huge impact on this game. If you look at the box score, you're like, oh, she didn't really do too much. 2 points, 2 steals. But with Maryland being so short-handed, with Faith Masonis out for the year, Ashley injuries I just mentioned, she's kind of like the extra guard, the only extra guard that's healthy and available to be in the game. Cheyenne Sellers is asked to take on an increased role. So I think Angel and Cheyenne picked up a foul. And Brenda's been managing this all year. When someone picks up, any of the main players get a foul, you got to go to the bench because you got to manage you to get you through the whole game. Ty came on and she played a big role in that first half, them being just strapping defensively. She did a really good job. And was happy to see her have that type of impact. But if you want to check out the full recap, head to thefocustv.com. Up next, Maryland hosts Wisconsin on Wednesday night, and it's Shanice Lewis bobblehead night. So guys, stop by the game. Got a bobblehead to take in. I think Chloe Bibby had her bobblehead night. I think it was on senior night or senior day rather. So it's pretty cool. Also, just wanted to share, I didn't have DC United news until they made news today because they've been busy. I told you all they've been adding people continually and shuffling the deck roster-wise. Today, the Black and Red signed Ecuadorian forward Michael Estrada on a season-long loan from Liga MX side Deportivo Toluca FC. DC United will have an option for a permanent transfer for Estrada following the conclusion of his loan at the end of the 2022 MLS season. This just a quote wanted to share from DC United president of soccer operations, Dave Casper. Bolstering our attack has been a priority for us in the offseason. We've been closely monitoring the possibility of bringing Michael to the club. He's a dangerous number 9 who we will believe will be a great addition to our attacking unit, and we're excited to get him on loan for the 2022 season. Up next, we got our second break. When we get back, Cardell got some USA basketball for you, and then we'll get into a little bit of rapid fire. Still got some time, so you can only imagine what he has for us in rapid fire because sports been acting up, especially the last 48 hours. Like today's been nuts. Every time I think like it's gonna be a chill period, you hop on Twitter, you get an email, something happens, and we're right back in it. Like I'm going through my notes today, and then like what life post 2 p.m. happened today. And who knows what's gonna happen tonight. But you're watching the Focus TV. We're gonna take our second break. When we get back, USA women's basketball.
So how much time we got, Wilson?
22 minutes.
Sheesh. All right, we going to about to work in this rapid fire, man.
I mean, the good thing is like what's it called? Pretty much. Shit,
Well,
really
you got
like
the
20
video up, so that's really not even with the video. It's still
no. That's what I'm saying. So like, it's really like 20 minutes. We really got like 20 minutes, and then that video to start the show is like 9. It's like 9 and change. So we still got some wiggle room.
All right.
So I think I started.
So like you still want to add the USA joint to this part?
Yeah, I'm gonna add the B-roll to it while you're talking about it. Yep, in the background. Trying to have my edit notes now, so when I go in here later, it's easy.
Right, go ahead and pay that man bill, dog. Go ahead and pay bill, dog. It's hard out here, man. Pandemic, come on, man. You need that 245, man.
Yeah, all right.
You see the little boys running around Capital One? Come on, man.
Yeah, he better get a bucket and stand outside the train station.
I was about to say he got brothers. Somebody
Stop banging the drums on.
He got brothers. They could take turns, take shit. Nah, dog. Oh, you should have jettisoned him out here right after Russ, dog. Oh, that dog. Nah. All right. Welcome back to the Focus TV. As promised, USA women's basketball. Cardell, what's been going on? Got a lot going on, upcoming rather, in the city.
Yeah, for the women's and men's, FIBA World Cup qualifying tournament will be here in DC. Right now for the women's, it will take place February 10th to the 12th. They just literally over the weekend, late last week over the weekend, had their training camp to kind of finalize their rosters or whatnot, and selected 12 players. And you know, some notable names, obviously, but really all the names no one should be surprised about. The players that made the list, obviously, probably no brainer. Jewel Lloyd from the Seattle Storm, Kelsey Plum from the Las Vegas Aces, Ariel Atkins from the Mystics, Stephanie Dolson from the New York Liberty, recently signed to the New York Liberty, Alicia Gray from the Dallas Wings, and Chelsea Gray from the Las Vegas Aces. Also selected were Natasha Howard from the New York Liberty, Breonna Jones from the Connecticut Sun, Kayla McBride from the Minnesota Lynx, Kelsey Mitchell from the Indiana Fever, and De'Erica Hamby from Las Vegas, and Alyssa Thomas from the Connecticut Sun. The World Cup qualifying tournament will be played at Entertainment Sports Arena, ESA, for sure, for those that live in the DMV. They will featuring games against Belgium and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico will play Belgium on February 10th at 4:30 p.m. USA will play Belgium 6:30 February 11th, and the tournament concludes with USA versus Puerto Rico February 12th at 4:30 p.m. Moving straight to rapid fire, we have quite a few questions to get to. Everybody know this is the 75th anniversary of the NBA. They named their top 75 players. Some people agree with the list, others didn't. But it hasn't got the same notoriety, same buzz. But the NBA also named its top 15 coaches of all time. And here is the list: Lenny Wilkins, Red Auerbach, Chuck Daly, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Larry Brown, Red Holzman, Casey Jones, Don Nelson, Jack Ramsey, Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, Doc Rivers, Jerry Sloan, and Eric Spoelstra. Just what are your thoughts on this list? Are there some names that you feel should be added or taken off the list? We're gonna start with you, Octavia.
I started listening like at the beginning of the games tonight, so I didn't hear all the names until you just said it. I mean, these lists to me are always subjective. I feel like it's never going to be perfect for somebody. The names that they listed to me are all, to me, noteworthy. I know some people, I don't know who specifically, but I feel like some people would probably say like, I don't know about Eric Spoelstra or something like that, which to me is still crazy because I mean Eric Spoelstra's been around for a very, very, very long time. But I feel like he probably doesn't get the just due from casual fans. But I mean, all in all, like I'm not really surprised at who's on there. I'm trying to think because, like I said, I literally just heard all of them. I'm trying to think who would have been left off that I just haven't thought about.
I mean, some people were saying like George Karl.
That's a good one. That's a good one, George Karl. Yeah, because I was waiting for you to say Popovich. I was like, I know I have to say Popovich, right?
Oh, he's on the list. Of course.
I'm trying to think who else.
Uh,
Like I can't think of coaches.
Somebody threw out Rick Adelman. He won a lot of games. I don't think he won the championship, but he's won a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be around close to 900,000 wins to honestly make that list. Some people were saying Steve Kerr. Is he really on? I mean, we all know the Warriors pretty much been a dynasty and stuff like that, but some were saying he don't have enough wins in his short stint with the Warriors. But I mean, it ain't about always the wins; it's the damage you do. Like championships matter. That's a lot of wins when you got to win championship, man. It's a lot of playoff wins too. So I'm not really mad at the list, but maybe George Karl because he's won a lot of games.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's what's like I couldn't think of who else I could think off the top of my head who would have been left off, but George Karl is a good one. Dang, it's been a long time. I feel like since he coached.
If you want to be real technical, I mean, hell, you could have put Bill Russell in there. With his work he did as player coach. Later on, even Seattle kind of turning that thing around, had him in position and stuff like that. A little argument can be made with that. He won championship, so it's not much. I'm not mad at the list at all, but George Karl kind of sticks out, but I don't think he's I don't think he won a chip, and I think all these coaches, for the most part, I think they did. Like Lenny Wilkins, I think he got the one in Seattle. Which was, I think, right after Bill Russell built it up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the only one. Ray, what you think?
Yeah, man, it's a pretty solid list. Like you said, man, the accomplishments pretty much speak for themselves. Like George Karl and Rick Adelman were two names that that I thought could have got some consideration. But yeah, it's nothing. I don't think it's anything egregious. It's funny that Eric Spoelstra's name is on there because they claim a specific player has never had a good coach. But
that was a great point.
The narrative messed up now. They can't use that.
But apparently one of his coaches is one of the 15 greatest coaches ever. So, who am I? I'm just a guy, man. I'm just a guy. But no, in all serious, man, like you said, Cardell, it's I got no beef with the list. A lot of great names on there. One guy's name on there that I don't think a lot of people now really understand the impact they had on the league is Don Nelson.
Donnie,
he just what he's done in regards to people think the NBA changed 5 years ago. Don Nelson was doing this in the 80s, man, and then even in the early 90s with Run TMC, had three guys averaging at least 20 points per game. And if they were able to stay together a little bit longer, who knows what would have happened with that? So yeah, I just think he's definitely one of the most influential coaches ever. And then I think only recently he was up until recently he was the winningest coach in NBA history. I think didn't Popovich pass him a couple games ago? I'm not exactly sure. If he hasn't passed him yet, he's like extremely close.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But yeah, it's a very solid list, and a lot of great coaches on there who coached a lot of great players, and basically had a tremendous impact on the NBA.
All right, Wilson.
Yeah, I think you guys pretty much laid it all out there. But yeah, they did a way better job with this list than the players list. I felt some type of way with the players list before I got even halfway through. I thought they did a good job. Obviously, as you guys mentioned, some really good candidates. No list is going to be perfect. But yeah, it's kind of ironic that, some of the folks that didn't play roles in the narratives of some people. Honestly, we want to get too technical. Like, one of his coaches was on the staff of a couple of these coaches that made the list. Like, that's part of the same coaching tree if we want to get real technical. So, I'm happy that they celebrated some of the because some of the folks deserved some respect on their names because I'd have kind of been overlooked depending on who you're a fan of and what you choose, what part of reality you choose to just detach from and set aside and act like it doesn't matter. It's crazy because we watched Spo at work. Literally last night. Yeah. That last night we watched Spo at work? Yeah, Fitting. But yeah, I think everyone's deserving. And I also think the guys, every coach that y'all brought up is definitely at least worth the conversation as well. So I thought they did a good job.
All right, let's move on, man. A lot of trade talk we got to get to, man. We're going to start with the hometown. Bradley Beal said he's disappointed that he would have to undergo wrist surgery and miss the rest of the season, basically due to a toe rest that he suffered against Memphis. The Wizards say they tried. Well, he said he tried to rehab it and tried to give it a week's time to be reevaluated, but they just saw right away that it was torn up and he would need surgery for it to properly heal. Like the quote is, despite the last 10 days of getting intensive treatment and rehab on my wrist, it became clear that I would not be able to compete to my standards or to the level that our team and our fans deserve. Bill said, I'm disappointed to have my season end this way, but we all agreed that this was the best decision. I look forward to coming back at 100% and continue to lead this team as we work together to build toward the future. Bill suffered the injury in the third quarter of the Wizards' 115-95 loss to Memphis last month. Bill, three-time All-Star, these Wizards and scoring 23.2 points per game and assists 6.6 per game. He's eligible to sign a 5-year, $245 million contract with the Wizards this summer. Bill also has a $36.4 million player option on next season. Man, I'll start with you, Ray. Thoughts on the Wizards now that Bill is out, and if you're the GM, what do you do? Do you offer the max? Do you because it's near impossible to ship him down. He can't help a team. So, or do you play your cards for this summer? Do the play, the opt in and trade, or like Chris Paul? Like, this is a dire situation right now.
Man, honestly speaking, if it's me, I'm looking at the opt-in and trade scenario, to be perfectly honest. Of course, with this with the injury, is nothing's going to happen by the deadline, which is on Thursday. So yeah, that I think that's what you're looking at. No offense to Bill at all, but to commit that super max, I don't think that's I don't think that's the best way to go. Because at that point he's your top dog, and you're gonna have to fill in the pieces behind him. Unless you truly in your heart believe that he's gonna take you to the promised land as the number one option, then you can't give him that money. That's what that's for. So yeah, I look at the opt-in and trade scenario to try to get him to a place where where he's going to be happy. Now for him personally, I don't think he gets that money, that 245, because he hasn't displayed that that's the level that he's on. I would think if he's going to get it anywhere, he'd get it here. But yeah, man, it's just a tough spot to be in, and it sucks for him. It sucks for the franchise, because he's been here a while now. And it would be sad to see him leave on on a downturn. But the game is the game, man. And you gotta run your business, and that's 245 is a lot for loyalty money. So yeah, that's what I think that's the best case scenario at this point. He opts in, he gets to 36, and then you try to move him and get what you can in return, and put yourself in a better position for the future. Personally, for him, I don't know what's going through his mind. I'm sure this injury is weighing on him, because he's looking at that hefty payday, and it's probably dwindling right in front of him. And it sucks, because I'm all for people getting their money, but I mean, you can't just expect people to do things that are bad for business, and that's the bottom line. So, and I hope it works out the best it can for all parties involved. But yeah, if I'm in that seat, that's the scenario I'm looking at. Because of course he's not going to leave 36 million on the table. So you had that conversation, you go ahead and opt in. We'll try to move you, put you in the best situation as possible where we can get something back.
And just for more information on the opt-in scenario, Bill will potentially make $41.9 million next season if he opts in his player option plus its 15% trade bonus. Because of limitations on extensions after trades, Bill will have to wait 6 months to extend with his new team. He could then add 4 years starting at the 2023 to 24 max, projected at $43.7 million, for a total of $228 million over 5 years, which can increase if the 23-24 cap comes in higher than expected. So, he pretty much would be giving up, if he opt in, with 17 mil. You know what I'm saying? So depending on what team you want to go to. So yeah, you got a tough decision to make. But as some GMs say, like, I don't think your lifestyle changes. You know what I'm saying? From making 228 mil compared to 245, it's all the same. So We're gonna go. Wilson got the petty smirk on, so go ahead.
Man, I'm over here trying to be as mature as I can. Yeah, there's one option. You opt in and trade. The only blessing here is having watched a similar scenario happen with the NFL team I root for, where you have a guy you clearly moved on from, but you want their value to be high enough to move them. It's a little bit different. Brad's, but either way, bottom line is you got a player. They're not quite at the level you would like them to be at, per se, to give them that type of bread or security, whatever you would like for your franchise. We've had this conversation numerous times. We've answered these questions numerous times. With his outlook, yeah, you opt in and trade, man. It is what it is. It's done. You should have did this before the year started. At least you can recoup something. If it's me, you got what 24 hours before another 24 hours, 30 some hours before the trade deadline. Take all the bets here, see what you can get. Let the rest of the kids play the year out. Get some people here want to be here. Listen to Coach West. Go forward. Get to next year. Opt in, trade. Get me stuff back. See where the people that missed out on the trade deadline. Someone might want a Brad. They might feel like they're a Brad away from a chip. Cool. That's their business. That's on them. But yeah, for Washington, nah, dude, you have to go forward. This whole thing's been bad. Like the whole since they traded John, it's been an ugly domino effect. Right? I'm gonna say it. It's fine. People feel how they want to feel. You had 10 years of at least knowing for sure that they were going to go out there and they were going to compete. That is long since passed. So it's on Washington. If they want to go ahead and re-up with that man, I'm not going to get mad at anybody. If Brad's offered 245, I'm not telling him to decline it. But if you're Washington and you had an opportunity for this to play out and you still do it, that's on you. But if it's me, I guess which is what you're asking, I opt in, trade, move on with my life, enjoy my lottery pick I'm gonna get for the rest of how this year is gonna go, and that's it. That's just me.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, what they said, because I mean the best ability is availability, and he ain't been available consistently enough in the last couple of years. I literally found a list of just all of the injuries he's had over the last couple of years. Granted, all of them haven't been, season ending or anything like that, but he's been pretty accident prone or injury prone over the last couple of years. So as a franchise, I wouldn't be able to trust to give a max player $245 million and not know if he's going to be here. I just can't, because the track record right now just shows that I don't know what it is. Unfortunately, it happens to certain players where their durability becomes in question, and it can also mess with what you got going on forward. But yeah, I would definitely do the opt in and trade, because it's just not getting any better. I don't know how many times he's had a season-ending surgery. I feel like it's been a lot. I know I'm probably stretching it, but it seems like it's been something. I know he had the hamstring injury. Now we have a rest, and it's just like I wouldn't be able to trust it. And as much as they love him at the franchise, I think that's probably going to be the only Achilles heel of what they'll decide to do. If they're going to lead with their heart or if they're going to lead with their bank account, as far as a franchise, to figure out what's going to happen forward with Bradley Beal. But I think it's time, because we've talked about it in the past about blowing it all up and starting all over. And I mean, at this point, I don't think they have to blow it fully up, because they were lucky enough to get some decent pieces last year where they could try to build around that. But I think it's about time to move on from the Brad Beal situation.
Yeah, for me, 245, that's only reserved for, like the LeBrons, the KDs, like players like that. And it ain't but like 5 or 6 of them. Anybody else don't even, for me personally, I don't even say two, nothing. Don't even
say $20.
I'm not even sure you should say one something. Like I'm like, no, you need Bertans money, because it's like you don't move the needle.
Yeah.
Like you put them on any team, that's playoffs, at minimum. Or LeBron, shit. But it was going on LA. That's a whole different story. But normally in his career, you know what I mean, he gets you there. You know what I mean. So, yeah, and then you just gotta be real. Let's say you do offer and he take it. Is it really going? Now you really strapped. You can't make more. Like this is what you got for the next 4 or 5 years, dog. And then when that's over, he's out of his prime. So you can't even move him for the same value. It is what it is. Like it's nothing. it's nothing you could do, man. And yeah, they in a bad spot. And Wilson touched on this. To me, it's a little karma involved because you had the franchise guy, you threw him out the door like he like he was the 12th man that just couldn't stay out the news. You know what I'm saying? You just like give him the proper respect because now the rest of the league saw how you treated him. And I'm pretty sure if Tommy was on the phone trying to make trades, they like, nah. Players like you can trade me, but I'm not going. They're jamming everything up because of how you treated him. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't have much flexibility anyway because you got Thomas Bryant who's 100. You know what I'm saying? Cool's got a bag. Dinwiddie got a little money. You just re-signed Gafford for a bag. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the dude y'all thought was Peja Stojakovic, who's getting $80 million and he can't hit nothing. You know what I'm saying? Can't get in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's just bad. You just got a lot of bad contracts on this roster, and they can't live up to those contracts. And I know y'all think you like trade build and try to build around these other pieces, man. Like honestly, they just need to go young. Because I think about it, KCP and Kuz and them, they ain't getting no younger, man. They ain't trying to be here for this full nah.
That's true.
Like nah, though. They trying to get back where they can try to win. They used to win it. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Build around the youngsters. You know what I'm saying? Rui, Denny. If you think he got between Kiss, like you got Thomas Bryant, like build around. You got to build around the youngest and hope that some of those guys develop and attract free agents. You know what I'm saying? And Ted just going to have to bite the bullet. I know it sucks because everybody done lost money during the pandemic, but you about to lose a lot more because you ain't going to power where people won't want to come to the games. Hell, it's already the opposing team's gym when they come anyway. Like it's bad in there, So, but at least you got some young talent where they will be open to learning, and you give Wes Unseld a chance to actually coach.
Mm-hmm.
These guys you can tell they don't really respect him, man. They tune them out doing what they gotta do. So, like I guarantee you, a lot of guys are at home praying that they get traded. Let's keep it with a buck. You know what I'm saying? So. There's always that other side. So yeah, I'm with y'all, man. Opt in and get them up out of here this summer. And Ray, I ain't gonna lie, dog. I wouldn't even really care about his feelings, man. Like I'm gonna do his best for our franchise. You get in the bag, Slim. That's your thing. That'll make you feel better. Go to therapy, brother. But you no longer my concern, man. Like, nah, bro. Like, it is what it is. It's business. You know what I'm saying? It's grown man business. And you can handle it. Don't be in the NBA. Go get another career. So they got because see what happens, and then you gotta look at it from this standpoint. If you're a GM, you Tommy shoes. If you don't, you look. He messed up. He messed up on a lot of moves. It didn't work out. So if you mess up on this next move, you may not be employed to continue. So I'm gonna mess up feeding my ability to feed my family. Oh no, Bill, you good. You got 200. You be all right. Go see Iyanla, get some therapy. You be fine.
Young.
Do what you gotta do, but I gotta make sure I'm straight. I gotta make sure we straight, man. And that's how you gotta do it. So, but at the same time, with the young pieces that they have across the league, like who are you gonna really get for him that's gonna move the needle in return, like right now? And that's why we gonna get to it probably soon. That next CBA gonna be mean because I think the owners are fed up because there's a lot of overpaid.
Oh yeah, they real mad.
Oh, dog, there's a lot of players that are seriously overpaid, and it's just like, dog.
Yeah, that dude in Philly ain't making no better either.
Dog. Yeah, and he gonna be the poster child, but this really started way before him. Like this ain't even, like really to me, James Harden's situation is worse than what Ben did. Because he literally just said, I want to get traded. I'm just gonna be fat. I ain't gonna work out. I'm gonna be in the strip club, getting fat, eating wings, doing what I do, and can't dog. That's bad. That's totally unprofessional. At least Ben was disrespected. I can understand why he's like, fuck them, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's totally unprofessional. I think Ben's just gonna be. They're gonna use Ben as an example. But yeah,
this is the most recent. Yeah,
it's bad. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, they gotta do his best for the Wizards before DC riot. They be climbing the Capitol One instead of the Capitol. Last question. Oh man, another trade. We're gonna stick to the trade scenario. One that shocked the hell out of me. But bad teams do bad things. The Indiana Pacers are trading two-time All-Star center Domantas Sabonis to the Sacramento Kings for a package that includes Tyrese Halliburton. Lord Jesus. And man, the Pacers are including Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, a 2027 second-round pick in exchange for Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and then Tristan Thompson. The NBA trade deadline is 3 p.m. Thursday. Just man, well, yo, just what are your thoughts on this, man? Wilson, go ahead, dog. Like, wow.
The immortal words of Owen Reese: "Bad teams do bad things," and never rung more true. I saw that trade, and the Pacers was like, Halliburton? Yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second. They gave us Halliburton. And they laughed for 5 minutes. All right, hold on. Hello? Yeah, so you said Buddy, Halliburton, and Tristan. Hold on. Picks? Oh, and a second. All right. Thank you. Hung up the phone. Bro, they've been partying. They still got stuff they can trade. And you just gave, like, all right, so you had this draft come up in back-to-back drafts. Indiana had an opportunity where they went and got they got a whole fresh new backcourt for the future in one day. And you still got Buddy Hield where you don't have to keep him. You can keep him. It's a luxury item now. And Justin Holiday is one of the several players in the NBA that can't play home games. Again, this is part of the package that was traded. You also gave him a first. I don't know what you're doing, Sacramento, giving anybody first, knowing your current state of affairs in life. That's interesting. Very interesting to me. I like Domantas Sabonis as much as the next person. And then the worst part is we were talking, on Wizards Outlook, Wizards friend been asking, Sabonis. All three of us been like, I don't think you have Sabonis money or assets to get a Sabonis. Meanwhile, the other part was, I think, Cardell, you talked about it last night. Even if you got him over here, can you get him to stay? So Sacramento, you literally got that man for 2 years, and the clock started ticking for him when the trade was made. All this could be for nothing. Then maybe De'Aaron's gone after that. And then you out here, Davion Mitchell's going to be looking around like, I'm by myself.
Get me out of here.
Like, it might just be him over there. You know what? I'm sure the Kings might still move some more things, but this is one of the things that, talking to some other folks today, and it's like, bad teams, like, this is why, like, the play-in thing, like, I'm okay with it, and I know it's mostly for business, but this is the other part of it. You got bad teams that do stuff like this because they can make the play-in, and it looks good it's enough optics to stay bad and never really do enough to get good. And because I can make the play-in with a chance to go to the playoffs, there's extra revenue, what have you, fans are in it. Like, let's say the Kings make the playoffs this year. Their fans going to go nuts. They're going to magically forget everything that's happened. They're going to be there. They accidentally get a home play-in game, what have you. Say they win a play-in, end up being an 8th seed and gets punched by somebody. That's at least 2 home playoff games. But these are things you wouldn't even do if that wasn't a thing. Like, we watched that happen here last year, literally here. They make the play-in or whatever, and we all knew how things was going to end. And you had fans like really falsely getting into, right? It's like the it's like the NCAA tournament when the 65th team makes it in. Like, bro, we all know how this is ending. So it was a bad trade. I don't get it. I'm sure there's going to be more, but shout out to the Pacers. Like, Rick Carlisle just came up. You got Duarte and freaking Tyrese Halliburton. All these rookies, we talk all the time, rookies these days take time to figure it out and all this other stuff. You gave one that's well on their way with another one who they drafted this year. Duarte's been fine since he got there.
Yeah, I was about to bring him up too.
Yeah, like so they already drafted one that was a little older. Then y'all gave him a younger one that seemed to figure out his life already. Good job. Congratulations. You had like 15 point guards, and you still chose the worst. Like, only the Kings can do this. That's all I'm saying. You could have tried to do this trade in so many different ways, man. Or even if you didn't get Sabonis, hang up the phone, call around the league. You have a bunch of different types of guards. See what can happen. But again, that my man Owen Reese said it right. So shout out to the Kings. Shout out to the Pacers. Now that's a come up. You got your Halliburton in his second year. Then he had to wait till his rookie contract was done. Congratulations.
And Buddy Hield, one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. You know what I mean? So, Octavian.
I can't follow that. Like I can't. Like Wilson just said everything.
Ray.
Yeah, Sacramento wilding.
I'm like, I don't know what else to say either. It's just like, yeah.
Somebody got to investigate that, man. Like, that's crazy.
somebody doing something under the table.
Somebody a real big Sabonis fan. Jesus
His biggest
Christ.
fan.
But yeah, Indiana's in a great spot now because they got a lot of wiggle room to do some more stuff. So yeah, man, good job, Indiana.
My bad. I'm trying to see who Monty McNair is. I'm trying to look him up. He just got the job in 2020 pandemic. Yeah, he looked like one of them analytic dudes. Anyway, all right, that's all. I don't need to read his bio. I can look at him. Just eye test. You don't pass eye test myself, but yeah, bad teams do bad things, man. Like that. Look, they're already paying for picking Bagley instead of Luke and all that. Like you already paying the price for that. Like, and that costs a lot of people their jobs. You use building something like Halliburton when it went, man. And like he's promising, dog. Like he could easily be a 25-5 guard. He's already one of the best shooters in the league already. You feel what I'm saying? So why are you just tossing that away? I'll never understand, but that's what they do. You basically just kind of jump-started Indiana's rebuild, you know what I'm saying? So if they draft well, and I don't know if people have noticed in this draft, the deepest position is power forward. This shit gonna be crazy. It's a lot of talent overseas and in college. There's a lot of talented power forwards in this draft. You can easily, not saying you can replace Sabonis right away, but you can easily get somebody that can be at that level sooner than later. And even with Sabonis, as great as he is offensively, defensively, he's like many people in the league, man. It's just matador defense. Just come on through. You know what I mean? So now you can play small, let Miles Turner just wreak havoc, block shots and stuff. Now it's like you may not trade Miles Turner. I just don't understand. And he's on his rookie contract. It's not even a money deal. That's what makes it just like, bro, everybody just confused by that. It's just, and what you said about the play-in is absolutely correct. But we're in the participation trophy era where everybody got to be made to feel good and like know that you lost. Like, accept it, get better, so you won't lose more. Like, just accept that, dog. It is what it is. It's even with the NFL. You getting a 17 game for what? Another round of playoffs for what? Man, you ain't getting there, dog. Like if you in that, to me, it's like I said, it's just an extra game. Like for what? Like if I'm not in the top 8 for real, dog, I don't even feel like I made the playoffs, dog. It's just like they extended the regular season because you're going home, you're going to the crib, man. So it is what it is. You may not go in to play in, but you're damn sure going in. The top seed will get you up out of there. So it's just all it's just false advertising. It's false belief, man. It's just it's some bad front offices, man. It's just you just see why they're bad, dog.
Okay, can I add to make this worse? Just want to throw this out there. So Tristan Thompson's about to get bought out. This is part of something you included in the deal. And Buddy Hield's deal, while we're talking about Washington, all their bad contracts, he's on a deal where his money goes down for the next 2 years.
Yeah, the Kings robbed him. They did him dirty.
His money goes down in this economy, this NBA, where people get money just to be getting money. The money's going down. No, so it's not like they have to work hard to fit Buddy in. It's a bargain for a known commodity with one of the elite skills that people are giving other people money for where they can't do anything else. And he does it. Like at the end of the deal, I think it's like 16 or something.
Wow.
That's crazy. There's way worse shooters on worse contracts. And they just got that as part of a deal. Just thrown in with a 21-year-old guard. That's, I don't know. There's a couple things, heard a couple stuff today, some of his numbers, and well, I'm not going to say that because people won't take that out of pocket. But like Cardell said, he's a good shooter already. Good shooter. can play make. Like, you're not supposed to do this stuff. And then, again, biggest UConn fan in the world, Jeremy Lamb ain't been right for 4 years. Justin Holiday can't play home games. You did all of this and got one player that can play right now.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, who's in your front office? These analytic guys. These plus minus guys. Like, this is what I'm saying. You can't be looking at basketball and do these and make these moves. You know? It's just it's impossible, bro. Like, the only time you see bad trades or something where it's clear they just trying to get from on the money we not winning. I get it. But this, I mean, y'all don't have a lot of money invested in the first place, and y'all ain't winning. Dog. And it's so bad, dog. It's so bad, bro. Marvin Bagley look like a bust, and people saying, you know what, we can't judge him until he leaves Sacramento. That's how bad they are. We gotta see him in another organization, give him time, because this ain't a real organization. They don't know what they're doing. So, oh man, but I feel what you're saying too, because the Wizards, I'm like, why haven't you shipped one of these shooters out and when they got Buddy Hield? Like, and that's what they need. Somebody that's professional, that can play, that work hard, and lead by example. That's what they need, more of those type of players. So, yeah, dog. I'm just this gonna be a while, and it's only Tuesday. We got till Thursday, so it's gonna be wild.
This gonna be
Tuesday.
Hey, look, and the worst part is the Kings ain't even done playing their role in this madness. I'm sure they're gonna send Harrison Barnes and Hicks expiring deal to someone that has no business having Harrison Barnes. He's gonna get saved from there. You mentioned Marvin Bagley. Watch him end up with a functional organization for literally the nothing.
They probably sent him to the Lakers for Russ, both of them to the Lakers. They probably do something like that. Like, let's give us Russell Westbrook.
And even what you said about the analytics, like the math ain't math, and you traded away good 3-point shooters. Even from your metrics, this doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. One of the better 3-point shooters, already known 3-point shooters in the league, and the other one's 21 years old. He's also a above average 3-point shooter. What are you doing, man? Why?
Unless they trying to.
That's not Giannis that you got in the trade. And I like Sabonis. That's not Giannis. That's not AD. That's not Jokic. Like, what are you doing?
Man, I'm not saying the shit hungry in sweepstakes. They trying to get one of them, or they looking 2 years down the road where they getting that dude, that kid from France, that Duval.
Oh, yeah.
They looking way ahead, just hoping, wishing.
But you want to know what? Until that comes to fruition, trash.
Yeah, I ain't giving them that much credit, man.
Hey, they wishing. A lot of teams are wishing, dog, and it's just, it's bad, man. And meanwhile, what you gonna tell your fans? Like, why would anybody want to come to a Kings game except to see their favorite player from another team?
I mean, I guess nothing's changed. It's business as usual. There's nothing to say.
I mean, what else in Sacramento? I mean, dog. Hey, that's no.
It's just business as usual.
It is what it is. Oh, you welcome.
Want to thank y'all for spending time with us this week. We truly appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week for season 5, episode 15. We're moving right along in season 5, and y'all know we're gonna have more stuff to talk about because it's trade deadline, like y'all said. We still got we got till Thursday, man. We have no idea what these crazy people around this league are gonna do, because there's like 4 functional franchises, and everybody else, anything's possible. Anything is possible. You got a bunch of people trying to save their jobs, other people actively working to lose their jobs while trying to do right. It's a lot of stuff about to happen. Don't forget to check in with us with Wizards Outlook. Keep you guys updated. We continue to go through this season. Follow Focus TV on all social media mediums. Wednesdays, Roku channel, Roku television or device, add us to Focus TV. Friday nights, 10 p.m. DCTV. Get to dctv.org if you live outside the city. And we'll see y'all next week. All right, y'all.